The memories came rushing back, fast and brutal. They had been at a party in Lekki, both drunk, both reckless. Funmi had gotten into an argument with a man, someone powerful. Bimpe, too caught up in her own ambition and envy, had walked away leaving Funmi alone with the man. The next morning, Funmi was gone. The police said she had drowned after driving off the bridge in a drunken haze. Bimpe had believed it, let herself believe it, because it was easier than admitting the truth that she had abandoned her friend in her time of need. Months had passed since Bimpe Adebayo's public humiliation. Her once gilded life had been torn apart, and she found herself adrift in the very city she had once ruled. No longer a queen of Lagos high society, she lived in the shadows, away from the cameras, gossip columns, and luxury. She had lost her job, her friends, her influence, but most of all, she had lost her identity. Every time she walked the streets of Lagos, she could feel the whispers behind her back, the judgmental eyes of people who once looked up to her. All because of Funmi. Funmi. The name still sent a chill down her spine. Bimpe hadn't heard from her since the night of the gala, but she knew Funmi wasn't done. Funmi was waiting, lurking in the darkness, preparing for the final move. One rainy evening, while sitting alone in her small apartment, Bimpe's phone buzzed again. The same familiar message that haunted her dreams flashed across the screen. "It's time. Meet me where it all began." Bimpe's heart raced. She knew exactly where Funmi meant, the abandoned warehouse in Lekki, where they had both gone that fateful night. A night that had changed everything. But this time, things were different. Bimpe wasn't the same woman Funmi had nearly destroyed. The last few months had hardened her. She had nothing left to lose, and that made her dangerous. Armed with nothing but the simmering rage in her heart, Bimpe grabbed her keys and left her apartment. The rain battered down as she drove to Lekki, memories of their friendship flooding her mind. There had been a time when they were inseparable, before ambition and jealousy tore them apart. But there was no room for sentimentality anymore. Funmi had started this game, and Bimpe was going to finish it. The warehouse loomed ahead, dark and imposing. As Bimpe stepped inside, the echo of her footsteps on the concrete floor reverberated through the empty space. The air was thick with tension, and Bimpe could feel someone watching her. Then, from the shadows, Funmi emerged. She hadn't changed. Her face was calm, but her eyes burned with that same fury Bimpe had seen months ago. They stared at each other, two women who had once been like sisters, now enemies bound by betrayal and hatred. "You're brave for coming," Funmi said, her voice cutting through the silence. "I didn't come here for you," Bimpe replied, her voice steady. "I came to end this." Funmi smiled. "End it?" "Bimpe, we're just getting started." Bimpe clenched her fist. "You've already ruined my life. What more could you possibly want?" "I want you to feel what I felt," Funmi hissed, stepping closer. "I want you to know what it's like to have everything taken from you. To be abandoned. To be left to die." Bimpe took a deep breath, the anger bubbling up inside her. "You think I haven't suffered? You think I haven't paid for what I did? You're wrong. I've lost everything, Funmi. Everything. But you're the one who's still trapped in the past." Funmi's smile faltered, just for a moment. But the rage returned, more intense than before. "The past is what made me. And it's what will destroy you." Bimpe knew then that there was no reasoning with Funmi. The woman standing before her was consumed by revenge, and nothing would ever be enough. The warehouse fell silent for a long moment, until Bimpe spoke again, her voice barely above a whisper. "This isn't about me, is it? It never was. You're not after justice. You just want to hurt someone because you're still hurting. Funmi's eyes flared, but she said nothing. And if you kill me, Bimpe continued, what will you have left? You've already taken everything I had. You'll be left with nothing but the ghost of the past, Funmi. You'll be alone, just like you were back then. For a moment, Bimpe thought she saw something crack in Funmi's expression, a flicker of doubt, of pain. But it vanished as quickly as it appeared. I'll take my chances, Funmi muttered, before pulling out a small knife from her coat. Bimpe's heart raced, but she didn't back down. You don't want to do this. Funmi lunged, and Bimpe moved instinctively, dodging the attack. The two women wrestled in the dark, years of pain and betrayal exploding into violence. They struggled, both fueled by rage, but it was clear this was not just a fight, it was the end of something far bigger. In the chaos, Bimpe managed to grab Funmi's wrist, twisting it until the knife clattered to the floor. For a brief second, their eyes locked again. Bimpe's breathing was ragged, but her voice was calm. You don't have to do this, Funmi. It's over. Funmi collapsed to her knees, her body shaking with sobs. Years of pain, loss, and bitterness finally broke through the icy wall she had built around herself. Bimpe knelt beside her, unsure if she should feel relief or sadness. I never wanted it to be like this, Funmi whispered, her voice cracking. I just wanted you to pay. Bimpe nodded slowly, her heart heavy. I did pay, Funmi. And I carry that guilt forever. But we don't have to keep doing this. For a long time, neither of them spoke. The rain continued to fall outside, the only sound in the empty warehouse. Eventually, Funmi wiped her tears and stood up, her face weary but no longer filled with hate. I don't know how to move on, she said softly. Neither do I, Bimpe admitted, standing as well. But maybe we can figure it out. And so, the two women, bound by a broken past, walked out of the warehouse together, unsure of what the future held. But for the first time in years, there was no hatred between them.